Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. It's about 9 a.m. here on the East Coast of the US. Welcome to your morning analysis of Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto markets. All right, I just wanted to show y'all the kind of gains that we've been getting in the Advantage side. So again, if you are not familiar with the Advantage program, we are here located on Cryptosomniac.com. You can just hit the products page right here. You could buy my technical analysis course and get 7 free days in these locked channels that you see. That's where all the Advantage members get to see a lot of analysis, a lot of information, okay? Or you can just buy the Advantage program right here, okay? All right, let's get right to it, folks. There's been a lot going on in the crypto markets, a lot of up and down movement, and we've been trading this movement as best we can. And I want to show you all some of the results that we've been getting. Okay, so yesterday we actually entered a short right here. I think I want to show you all exactly where we entered. So we entered a short, I think, let's see, I think it was somewhere over here. So we entered a short somewhere over here in this area right here, and we caught that movement down here all the way to 10,178. And then we got in a long somewhere up here and rode that long all the way up here, okay? So those two movements both yielded us anywhere between, depending on how much leverage you're trading with and how much money you're trading with, anywhere between 5%, all the way up to, 25, 40%, okay? I myself got in a nice move in that short. As you can see, closed that short with a nice 9% gain. And then I got in a long right after that, which was, as you can see, around 10,226 right over here. Okay, in this candle right here, I got into a long and I sold right up here. Okay, so if you don't understand exactly, why we get into certain positions, why we get in and get out, quick scalps, you have to be able to understand the technicals behind what's happening in this price action, movement. Okay, and for the most part, I've been saying it over and over again, a lot of this, if we start looking on the larger time frames, we're kind of still trapped in this big sort of sideways trading range. As you can see on the 4-hour chart, this is really the big resistance, as you can see the red marker going across, okay? And the big support is really this green block right here with critical support down here, which is around $9,300 or so, okay? So anything between these two, areas, this resistance and this support, if you can get an opportunity to sort of trade the chop, and I don't recommend it, but if you know what you're doing, which we do in our community, there's some good money to be made. Okay. Another reason why we got out of that trade, okay, where we got in right around 10,200 or so and got out around 10,400, is because of this candle hitting this resistance trend line. Okay, you can see this resistance trend line actually comes up from this support when we were bouncing from 9,300, went all the way to about 10,900 just a week or two ago. And then we came down, broke it, right? We broke that same trend line, and then we used it as resistance right there, and then resistance again right there, okay? So it's about knowing exactly how to, draw your technicals, draw your channels, your trading ranges, your horizontals, and also utilizing volume and RSI, all these different instruments that are available to you. Now, any person in the world can just throw any lines on their chart and just say that, hey, this is what I think is going to happen in the market. But are you bold enough to take a move on it like we do and actually get in with the, trade? Okay, any monkey can draw lines on a chart and say this is going to happen or that is going to happen, but are you willing to actually put your money behind it and double down when necessary, when the movement goes against you, or you actually understand your technicals and you trade it, right? So that's where we come in, okay, as a community, as leaders of Cryptosomniac, myself and Jordan over here. We actually show you how we trade, and if you want, you can follow our trades. Obviously, the people who are following our trades, again, this is all non-financial advice. They can do whatever they want, but we just tell you exactly what trades we're getting in, when we're getting out, what our target profit points are, where our stop is, etc. Right? And if you want, you can follow. If not, you can do your own thing too. But these people in our community, they trust us to know that, we know what we're doing, right? So, and you can see the results. This goes back, folks, all the way into 2018 and even 2017. We've been doing this for a while. Jordan has been trading for a few years. I've been trading for 11 and a half years now. Okay. I've traded everything under the sun, from Forex to commodities. I traded gold and wheat. I've traded the stock market since I was, 17. So right around like 2007, 2008, right around the financial crisis. So I've been through the ups and downs. I know how markets operate. I know how, to be able to trade markets, how to be able to properly manage your risk. Okay, so if you're not in a community, or you don't even know, what you're doing on your own, at least come join us. Give us a shot, okay? You will see the results for yourself. I guarantee it, okay? At the very least, you'll learn something, because we have a massive trove, in our education section right here, where you can learn everything that we're doing and read about it, and read the books and the articles and the videos. Everything that we do is all available right here. Okay, so I think that's a steal for the price that we're offering, over here, for the amount of information and the resources that we provide. All right. Additionally, not only do you pay for that, but you also pay for the attention that, we provide, the attention, the communication, constant updates of what's happening in the market. Now, I do a daily video like this every single morning for the Cryptosomniac Advantage members. You as the general public are right now seeing it, but you see these videos maybe once every few days. I put out these videos, every single day, with multiple updates through the day for the Advantage members. And I also started something new for our people in Europe and Asia and Africa, Australia, New Zealand, which is I'm doing 2 videos a day now. Okay, as you can see right here, now we have 2 videos a day, where you can see exactly, at the end of the day of the US time zone, how are the markets looking at, the beginning of your day, right? So now we're doing even more content, even more information, so you can, be aware, be, up to date on what's happening, all right? Sorry about that spiel, folks, but I do have to pitch our channel, with all the free information and free calls that I provide. I think it's necessary for me to do so, because, people are just trying to, do something in the market that they don't understand, or they're constantly losing money. And I feel like if I have a skill set that I can offer, maybe people could find use in it. Even on our Twitter, okay, a few days ago, I had put up this example right here. I said, I was going short right here in this area when prices were in this wedge right here, 10,400. As you can, actually, it's right here. Wait a second. Let me pull up that 1 hour chart. Okay, we were right here in this wedge right here, okay, and we broke down, right? I said I was shorting just about there. You can even see the price is 10,400. Okay, I was shorting this area because it was so obvious to me that we were rising in this rising wedge. First of all, the volume was declining after this push up on the second push, meaning that when you have a large push up here, and then you have an even greater push, which creates a higher high with lesser volume, all right, more than likely, it's like the price is walking on stilts, okay? Eventually, it's just going to fall and break down. And so I knew that, and I even mentioned this publicly, and I said that this might be a good area to go short, okay? So again, I try to do a lot of free content, but I can't do everything free, right? So if you're good at something in life, make sure you charge people for it, right? Make sure you know your value and people know your value, okay? All right, going back to the analysis, 1 hour chart. One good thing that I like about this chart right now is the fact that, let's see, you could see right here. Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit. Okay, once we put in this low right here, we've created this higher low, and now we're creating another higher low. Okay, so that's something, that I like right now. All right, another thing that's kind of interesting to me is this lower high that we're seeing. So this is a high, lower high, and another lower high. So what this is doing is we're creating, sort of something like this, right? That, as well as something like this, where you can see price is now tightening in this little area right here. Okay, so eventually, there's going to be an explosion to one side or the other, and I bet you anything that the Bollinger Bands are tightening as well. Okay, so let me turn on the Bollinger Bands. Let's see. As you can see, they are tightening up. Okay, you can see the broad volatility like this opens up the bands, meaning that it opens up the volatility to both sides. When prices tighten up like this, volatility tightens up, and typically Bitcoin does not like being less volatile. It typically trades, in a decent range up and down. And so, when it tightens up like this, there's usually going to be an explosive move to one side or the other. Now, where exactly do I think personally that's going to go? Well, here's the thing, okay? On this particular time frame, I think the more easier move is down, all right? Maybe catch a bit more support down here, maybe the low 10,000s again. But now, I personally think that there's a lot of people who are now aggressively short, up in this region right here. Anything above like this high right here, 10,400, all the way to maybe even just a bit higher than this, so about 10,600. I think there's a lot of shorts to be liquidated, which are a bit over leveraged. So in this little block right here, okay? So I think what's going to happen is either we're going to get a massive quick wick up here and just liquidate all these shorts and eventually just push down again, or we're going to get a slow, grinding movement up here, really liquidate the shorts, push up just a bit more to, get the FOMO in for the longs, because people are going to think that, oh, we're going to go to 11,000, 12,000 just because we've reached 10,700 or 10,800, and then price is going to come back down again. Because remember, at the end of the day, price is always looking for liquidity. It's always looking to inflict pain on those who do not properly manage risk and those who do not, also properly manage their leverage, right? So whenever there's high leverage people who are stuck in, bleeding positions, price will gravitate to those positions, liquidate those fools, and then go, the prevailing trend and follow the prevailing trend, okay? So the reason I think, price can get all the way up to about 10,600, maybe even as high as 10,800, which could be just around this block right here, this cluster of candles before we had this big drop off, okay, is also because of what I showed you earlier, is this right here, right? When we look at this red block, this has been resistance right there, resistance, 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 resistance. We broke up above this, but this is again, that FOMO movement that pushed prices up here, right? Maybe probably, liquidated shorts from, these guys right here, and then push back down again. So generally, if you notice for the last, I don't know, let's see how long it's been. Okay, so since like maybe we entered this little area till now, this is about 377 bars, 62 days we've spent in this trading range, excluding maybe like, 3-4 days right here. So, at least 55 to 57 days we've spent in this larger trading range. Okay, so really what I see happening in this particular area right here is either it's reaccumulation, okay, or it's distribution that's really happening in a particular range where, it's easier to distribute here than it is to distribute up here or to distribute down here, okay? And distribution means, there's some bigger players who are actually selling and wanting to get out, but they can't get out easily when prices, shoot up too high or shoot down too low. So they have to sort of, bring price into a range for, days or weeks or months. And this happens in the traditional markets too, right? Typically when you have accumulation or distribution, the stock market, it's really, for a decent period of time that it happens, because when there's bigger hedge funds or institutions or larger professionals who are trying to get in and out of positions, they take a longer period of time to, distribute millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, and maybe even billions. And I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin has, maybe a few of those large whales who have, who are either trying to reaccumulate right here or distribute right here. Personally, I think, my thoughts for the last couple of weeks. I personally think that there's still more pain to be felt to the downside. Also because I think, a lot of the traditional markets are going through, I would say a cycle adjustment where we're trying to figure out exactly what this China tariff stuff is going on, the trade war that the United States is making with China, the bond inversions, the bond yield inversion that's happening in the U.S. What exactly, does that mean for the economy? We're really just trying to figure out where this economy is going. And I think even the biggest players have sort of admitted that, there's something to be just cautious about in this economy, okay? In the U.S. as well as globally, okay? I think there's just, some larger problems that are brewing. And I personally think Bitcoin is not going to be immune to that, okay? I think Bitcoin will also suffer if, bigger traditional asset classes suffer, like, the stock markets or the bond markets, gold, silver, oil, etc., right? I really don't think Bitcoin is going to be immune to that. So with that being said, I think Bitcoin is also in a very particular spot where it's in this big sort of, consolidation period that it's in, but the direction is a bit unclear. Personally, I think, we're going to go down before we go back up because, I also think that after this big, massive rise up, I don't see any other way where you can just keep on going up without just pulling back just a little bit, right? And I've stated before that, this movement right here is almost analogous to what we saw over here, where we saw a big parabolic move right here between 2016 and 2017, created this descending triangle, and then went down. And folks, the people who are saying that this is not a descending triangle or this is not a descending triangle, I don't know what to tell you, but those people definitely don't know what they're talking about. All right. I can almost, with more certainty say that this is a descending triangle and so is this. All right. This is not a symmetrical triangle. Okay. Another thing that, people like to talk about is, after this big move up, this is just consolidation and it has to go up. Price doesn't have to do anything. All right. And you're right. Like, I could be wrong too. Price doesn't have to go down, but statistically price is, more favorable to those, who understand that after big parabolic run-ups in any market, a deeper, healthy retrace is necessary. And you can't just retrace from, 13,000 just to about 9,000 and then just keep on going up. I think there's a deeper retrace to be made from, as you can see, from this bottom to this top, right? From 3,100 to 13,900, the retrace below would be, 618 retrace would be about $7,200, which is typically, that golden pocket area between 61.8 and 65%, which is around 68 or 7,000. Okay. So just, things to be aware of, right? In the larger scheme of things. Let's see. On the 1 hour chart though, on the smaller time frames, like I said, right, I still think there's some pending liquidations, some big over leveraged positions in terms of shorts that are sitting up here in this area that need to be weeded out of the market. If they're really big players and they're really protecting their positions, they're not going to allow Bitcoin to come up above 10,400. Okay, why? Because it really just puts them in a real tough bind up here, right? Holding price below 10,400, which again goes along with this chart right here. Holding Bitcoin below 10,400, which is this yellow block right here, as you can see, will be, paramount to basically keeping their short positions secure. Because if they have short positions that have been opened up here, 10,900, or even just above, this lower high, which is about 10,600, I don't know if they would want to let price sort of keep, climbing up like this, because, then you basically have your positions underwater as soon as price starts coming up here, right? So, I personally think price can move up here and then still come back down because we haven't quite really broken out of this trading range. We haven't broken below it, and we haven't broken above it. Okay, but at least for now, I can say with a bit more certainty that price does look like it wants to head back down soon. Okay, but like I said, we could have this one-off wick like this, liquidate everybody up here, around 10,600, maybe even 10,800, and then push back down like this did right here. Okay. I don't particularly like this candle right here at the top of movements, right? I mean, not that this is a top, but really, we had 2 days of, upside movement. Then this hammer-like candle came up here. We haven't had the best experience with, this kind of candle sitting at the top of movements, like over here, as you can see. It's, more than likely just an indication that a reversal is coming. Over here and over here, the same thing happened. Let's see, I'd probably say maybe even this one right here, as you can see, right? I really don't like those candles just coming in the middle of a trend. I like to see hammers like that at the bottom, like that, maybe even like that one, or like this one right here, or this one, right? In the middle of trends or at the top of trends, I just don't like seeing them. And so, with that being said, I personally think that, this next candle, this daily right here, could also be, a big pullback candle. Or I guess, we could have, again, this candle close as is, the next candle pushes up a little bit, maybe even a big wick like this, and then eventually just, push back down. Okay. See on the weekly chart does close tomorrow, so we have about, I think, 36 hours or so left. I mean, if this candle closes as is, again, no real sign of weakness in terms of weekly at this particular candle. But if it pushes back down and closes, let's just say, somewhere around $9,700, $9,800, then that will have basically been an engulfing candle, bearish engulfing. I mean, technically, bearish engulfings you want to have at the top, but again, it could be very well a large bearish engulfing candle. Like this is a bullish engulfing because it comes at the bottom of the trend. You typically want to find bullish engulfings at the bottom, and you want to find bearish engulfings at the top. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so here's another thing on the 1 hour chart, right? So on the 1 hour chart, we are under the hourly pivot right here. We are bouncing right off the top of the Ichimoku cloud. If you're not familiar with the cloud, again, take my course right here. I talk about it, quite a bit in detail in the course, and you can understand how I use the cloud to trade, and how you can, use it for your own technical analysis or to trade as well. Okay, so this yellow line right here is actually known as the Kijun line, and this blue line right here is known as a conversion or the Tenkan Sen line. Okay, both these lines used together in complement with the cloud give you a good idea of exactly different areas that price has previously found support resistance levels, and where exactly price could potentially move into the future. So the one good thing about the cloud is that it actually projects a bit into the future, which is, I think, one of the more unique characteristics of this particular overlay, this indicator. And I find it fascinating because really not many indicators do that. There's price taking off just a little bit, bouncing off the bottom of the cloud. Again, if you are looking for longs, like I personally would not touch longs unless price at least closes above 10,375 on an hourly candle, or even more safer, 10,440 or 10,450, which is above these hourly candles right here. Because, I mean, until it does that, right, all you're really buying into is speculation, which is really just this lower high potentially, right? Prices haven't really done anything. I mean, this is really the kind of chop movement that makes everybody FOMO and lose their money because there's really no clear defined direction, right? So there's really no reason to get back in right here. I mean, there was a reason to get back in, like I stated earlier, if you caught this bounce right at the bottom of this cloud, quick long, sell this candle, get in and get out. But now you're just buying in the middle of a trading range, and that's really no fun. Okay. Another interesting thing that I've sort of, recognized is something like this. Okay. So if we draw another trend line, or actually, you know what I'll do is I'll just shift this just a little bit, maybe over kind of like this. All right. I'm going to move this a bit higher, all the way up here. All right, you guys get the point. I'm not trying to cover every single wick, but I'm going to draw this like this, okay? And I'm going to draw something like this. Just bear this in mind, okay? So this, as you can see, is a big sort of ascending triangle, okay? I don't know if that's visible, actually. Let me sort of draw this out properly with the triangle tool if I can. Kind of like that. Yeah, kind of like that. Okay, so this is your ascending triangle, right? Price hit this top, hit this bottom, hit this top, hit this higher low bottom, and now it's just kind of moving in this area or trying to move up, right? So you could make an argument that price could potentially make another move to the top of this triangle or to the top of this red block and then push back and break under this area, which, would effectively break this sort of higher low structure that we're trying to create. Because, in large part, if we start going back and zooming out, right, we have, lower highs, consistent lower highs. So all this could really be doing is going like this, right? This is your high, lower high, another lower high, and then, this kind of pulls back like this, right? So it could very well, do that. Okay. Let's see, what else do we want to talk about? I think that kind of wraps it up. Actually, there is one thing. Okay, here's something interesting on the daily chart. Right, I wanted to show you all this trend line, and I mentioned this to my Advantage members just a few days ago. Okay, this is the trend line that we're watching on the daily RSI. Okay, this trend line right here got broken, which is fantastic, right? This right here got broken, okay? It broke out like this, but now we're kind of stuck. You always need to, look at what's happening in the local price action as well as the larger picture too, okay? So with these lower highs right here, what you're seeing is lower high, trapping the price or the RSI right here. And you can see, the price comes down at that same level where it should technically get rejected. Okay, so that makes, again, another compelling case why price should not move up above this area. And maybe a quick wick to the upside, making people FOMO into longs, closing out and liquidating shorts up here would be probably the wisest bet. And for the last couple of weeks, Bitcoin has, been doing that pretty substantially, of really just having sharp wicks to the upside, liquidating shorts that came in late, like this one, and this one right here, right? Even these small wicks that you see on the intra-hour charts, there were pretty epic movements, that happened within 15 minutes and basically put a lot of shorts underwater. So that's why I still, feel that price can move up really quickly and then come back down, or grind, up to this area, this descending triangle trend line resistance, and then come back down again. All right. So in large part, in conclusion, I still do think that price will break down, all right? And I really don't think that, we're going to move back up, anytime soon, I would say, unless, I don't know, maybe something great happens in the traditional markets that we're just not aware of, which I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. I personally think that the economy really needs to fix itself. And I don't know if you guys, were sort of trading or aware, but in 2007, I think in September, around the same time, I think 17th of September, 2007, the financial crisis really just started kicking into gear. It caught everybody off guard. And almost, I think 6 months later, basically right in the early 2008 months, in springtime, that's where, shit hit the fan. And who knows? I mean, Bitcoin and the other traditional assets may go through a similar cycle like that. What was I trying to show y'all? Oh yeah, I was trying to show you guys the 128, 100, and the 200 moving averages, which have been pretty pivotal for Bitcoin historically. And now, sort of we're, let me pull up a different chart with more history. So here's the purple is the 100 moving average, yellow is the 128, and the red is the 200 moving average. Okay. So over here, typically, when price has sort of come back to the 128 moving average, like over here, right? As you can see, while we were in an uptrend, basically starting our uptrend in 2016, we did come back towards that, that 128 moving average, got rejected by the 100 moving average right here and right here, right? Then crossed it to the upside and then broke out, okay? But even then, like, that took a long time, right? So one thing that you can see happening right here is same thing. We bounced off the 128 moving average, pulled up, got pulled under that 100 moving average again, and now you can see price is actually getting rejected by that 100 moving average on the daily. So if price pulls back down to the 100 moving average, the more likely spot for price to come down to is that 200 moving average way down here. And if price meets it over the next couple of weeks, maybe even at the end of September, the 200 moving average, the way it's moving, will meet price probably somewhere around $8,800 or $8,900, okay, by the end of September. Which, again, would still sort of give credence to this descending triangle chart where price is moving in this way, but it does break down just a little bit and then pushes back up. Okay. All right. I think that's it, folks. This video has gone on longer. I was going to do a quick video, but again, I had to sort of, give y'all a deeper analysis. Again, come join Cryptosomniac Advantage, folks. I don't really do these videos for public that often anymore because we have a lot of members now, and I want to give my full attention and energy and time to them, as best I can. And obviously, as you've seen, the short trades, the leverage trades, and the long trades we're doing really well in. And we also have our other short, medium, and long-term trades. We just had a trade put up right here, as you can see. So we have trades being put on at least, every other day or, a couple times a week. So if you decide to take a trade, or you want to trade with us, or you even want to just learn how to invest short-term or medium-term or long-term, come join us. All right. One good thing that I want to show y'all is I put up this video this morning, and I want to show you guys that this is really the point of, trading and making money, which is to be able to, create more time for yourself, right? To be able to do something that you enjoy and to be able to also have, a supplemental income, not spend like 18, 20 hours on the screen, constantly losing money, right? So the point of trading, at least something that I'm trying to sort of teach in this community, is you can still live your daily life. You can take care of your kids. You can take care of your family. You can go out on the weekend. You can go on vacations, but you can pull out your laptop anywhere. And if you feel like there's a good trade and you see us put on a good trade, you can get in and get out, and if you want, you could follow our trades, make some good money, and use that for your life. Buy yourself time, be able to pay off your loans or go on vacation, something like that, right? So this is really what life is about. I got to catch the sunrise this morning. I live in Florida, so the sunrises are beautiful here, and, get to hang out by the beach. And then I also sometimes trade on the beach because I don't know what could be better than, sitting on the beach, listening to the ocean waves and making money, All right, folks, that's it. That's enough for me. Hope y'all come join and really just enjoy, being with us and join an awesome, supportive, and, fantastic community. All right. See y'all soon.